Have you ever considered that everything you were taught about success, love, and healing might be a lie? Not just slightly inaccurate, not just incomplete, but a full systemic distortion designed to keep you chasing shadows, while the truth, the real power, sat quietly within you all along, overlooked, untouched, and forgotten. It begins with a feeling, subtle, almost imperceptible, a moment of synchronicity, a flash of knowing, a whisper in your chest that says, "There's something more." And just as quickly as it arrives, the mind dismisses it. We call it luck, coincidence, a fluke, but deep down, your soul knows it was real. What if I told you that the life you're desperately trying to create already exists? Not in some far-off future, not through years of effort, not hidden behind hard work and sacrifice, but here, now vibrating in the unseen, waiting only for one thing, your alignment. But there's a catch. You see, the truth is so simple, so radically effortless, that the mind rejects it because we've been trained to believe that struggle is sacred, that worth is earned in sweat, that nothing valuable comes without pain. We worship the grind. We idolize the hustle. We canonize effort like it's holy scripture. But what if that entire narrative was reversed? What if the real secret wasn't in trying harder, but in allowing? This isn't spiritual bypass. It's not passive dreaming. This is physics, quantum physics. And in the quantum world, the laws are different. In the quantum, force fractures, effort scatters, control constricts, but alignment unifies. It amplifies. It calls forth realities, not through manipulation, but through resonance. And this changes everything, because if you truly understood the way energy moves, you'd stop striving, you'd stop begging, you'd stop micromanaging every inch of your future. You'd relax, you'd breathe, you'd remember. And in that remembrance, the entire field would begin to bend in your favor. Let me ask you something. How many times have you prayed, visualized, journaled, or scripted, only to feel like nothing changed? And in the silence, what did your mind whisper? That maybe you're doing it wrong, that maybe you don't want it enough, that maybe you're not worthy of it yet. And so you try harder, you chase more, you pile on rituals like armor, hoping one day the universe will finally see you trying and reward your effort. But here's the paradox. The more effort you bring, the more misaligned you become. Because effort, when driven by lack, sends a signal of chaos. A fragmented signal cannot collapse a coherent reality. The quantum field isn't responding to your words. It's responding to your vibration. And vibration doesn't lie. You say you trust, but you vibrate fear. You say you believe, but your energy whispers doubt. You say you're ready, but your field is full of noise. The quantum doesn't listen to declarations. It mirrors states. And in that mirror, it shows you not what you want, but what you are. So here's the real work. Not to do more, but to be more. Not to add complexity, but to return to simplicity. Not to fix, force, or fabricate, but to align. Because coherence, true coherence, is the silent power behind every miracle you've ever witnessed. It's the reason some people seem to magnetize success without effort. It's the energy behind those moments in your life when things just clicked. When you met the right person without searching, when the opportunity fell into your lap without planning, when clarity landed without logic. Those weren't random. They were echoes of coherence. But the mind doesn't trust ease. It associates worth with struggle. If it's too easy, it must be false. If I didn't fight for it, I don't deserve it. That's the programming. But the truth, the universe doesn't reward pain. It mirrors frequency. And the more coherent your frequency, the faster it responds. Coherence is not about perfection. It's about agreement. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions stop contradicting each other, you stop emitting mixed signals. You stop attracting confusion. You stop delaying your manifestations. Instead, you become a clear signal, undeniable, magnetic, potent. This is not philosophy, it's quantum reality. In science, coherence refers to particles moving in unified harmony, amplifying each other's influence. It's what makes a laser more powerful than a flashlight. It's what makes a chorus more resonant than a single voice. In your body, it's when your mind, heart, and breath move as one. And in your life, it's when who you are no longer debates with what you want. But let's go even deeper, because even if you grasp this, the old story still runs. The one that says, it can't be this simple. But here's the thing. Simplicity is not weakness. Simplicity is mastery. In the natural world, energy follows the path of least resistance. Water doesn't try. It flows. Trees don't hustle. They grow. Stars don't plan. They burn. And you are made of the same intelligence. So why do you insist on struggle? Because struggle gives the ego a role. It gives the mind something to measure. But manifestation isn't about measuring. It's about matching. You don't receive what you work for. You receive what you are. So ask yourself, what frequency are you being? Are you being urgency, desperation, and fear? Or are you being certainty, stillness, and trust? Because one creates resistance, the other opens doors. And the truth is, most of what you're calling delay is just feedback. Not punishment, not failure. Just energetic clarity. The universe isn't blocking you. It's waiting for your signal to become clear. And clarity begins with choice, not a passive wish, a decision. This is what I want. This is who I am. This is the frequency I choose. And then you live from there. You stop checking. You stop doubting. You stop re-asking. You become. And the moment you become it, reality has no choice, because the field isn't controlled by effort. It's activated by embodiment. And embodiment is not a performance. It's a vibration. You don't have to prove it. You just have to be it. The version of you who already has the thing, they're not trying. They're not chasing. They're not overthinking. They are living, breathing, walking coherence. So instead of trying to manifest, become the manifestation. Instead of chasing alignment, relax into it. Instead of fighting the current, flow with it. And if your mind resists this, good. That means you're close, because resistance is not a stop sign. It's a threshold. It's the place where the old story begins to die and the new frequency begins to live. So what happens when you finally cross that threshold? When you stop striving and start remembering, the field shifts, not slowly, not eventually, instantly. Because the moment your frequency says yes, the universe says yes right back. But don't confuse simplicity with ease. You will still be challenged, not by effort, but by surrender. You will be asked to release the story of your struggle, to let go of your addiction to doubt, to give up the illusion that worth is earned. That is not easy, but it is simple. And in that simplicity, you find power. The power to tune to your timeline instead of forcing it. The power to receive without guilt. The power to become without breaking. So let me leave you with this. You were never meant to suffer to receive. You were meant to resonate and allow. You're not here to prove your worth. You're here to remember it. And the moment you stop doing for approval and start being in alignment, everything changes. Not because you changed the world, but because you remembered how to change your frequency. Now take a breath. Let it land. Let it settle. You don't have to control this. You don't have to earn it. You don't even have to understand it fully. You just have to feel it, because your feeling is the frequency, and the frequency is the request, and the request, once coherent, becomes law. The universe responds not to effort, but to truth. So stop waiting, stop overthinking, stop asking, just choose, align, and allow. You are ready. You are already the one. And now, so is your reality. You see, becoming the frequency is not a mystical task. It's a returning to the natural rhythm that your body, your heart, and your field already recognize when the mind gets out of the way. And that return begins in stillness. Stillness is not inactivity. It is not passivity. It is the foundation of all clarity, because when the mind is silent, the signal becomes clean. And when the signal is clean, the field responds. But here's the challenge. Most people are uncomfortable with stillness. They mistake silence for stagnation. They interpret slowness as failure. They feel uneasy when not doing, not fixing, not forcing. That discomfort, that frantic need to act, is not your nature. It's your programming. The nervous system, shaped by years of survival patterns, equates motion with safety. Stillness feels like a threat, like something is wrong. But if you want to access the quantum field, you must teach your body that peace is safe, that clarity is safe, that not knowing every step is still secure. And that begins with presence. So take a moment now. Feel your body, not conceptually, viscerally. The pressure in your chest, the weight of your feet on the floor, the pulse in your fingers. This is presence. This is embodiment. And the more often you return to this awareness, the more stable your signal becomes. Because coherence is not just emotional, it's physiological. When your heart rate stabilizes, when your breath slows, when your brain waves drop from beta into alpha or theta, your entire field shifts into alignment. This is not just a spiritual truth, it's measurable in science. Studies show that in coherent states, your body begins to regulate itself. Your immune system strengthens. Your hormones rebalance. Your mind becomes more intuitive. And in this state, you don't try to manifest. You are the manifestation. So how do you build this coherence? Not through force, but through intention. Here's what that looks like. You begin each day by choosing a single frequency, not 10 goals, not a to-do list, one frequency. Love, peace, expansion, certainty. You feel it in your body. You breathe it in. You anchor it. And then throughout your day, you ask one simple question. Is my energy matching that frequency right now? If not, you pause. You reset. You return. This is coherence in action. It's not rigid. It's fluid. It's not perfection. It's presence. And the more you practice this, the less fragmented your energy becomes. Because fragmentation is what slows everything down. Wanting one thing, but expecting another. Saying one thing, but feeling the opposite. Acting brave, but vibrating fear. This is incoherence, and the field reflects it perfectly. Not to punish you, but to mirror you. So if your life feels full of stops and starts, if things almost work then fall apart, if you feel like you're doing all the right things, but nothing is landing, it's not your fault, but it is your frequency. And the solution is not to try harder. It's to become quieter, clearer, truer. Let me tell you something radical. You don't need to earn what's already yours, the timeline you want. It was already created the moment you desired it. It's not waiting to be built. It's waiting to be tuned into. And tuning doesn't require effort. It requires resonance. This is why the more desperate you feel, the further it slips away. Because desperation is a frequency of lack. It says, I don't have it. And the field responds, okay. But when you move from certainty, when your very being says, This is who I am. This is what I know. The universe rearranges quickly, elegantly, without drama, because it's not matching your words. It's matching your coherence. You may think you need to prove something to the universe, to others, to yourself. You don't. You only need to remember. Remember how it feels to trust. Remember how it feels to receive without guilt. Remember how it feels to be safe in your own energy, because that feeling, that signal, is the gateway. Now let's speak about identity, because manifestation is not about getting things. It's about becoming someone, and that someone, the version of you who already has it, they already exist. Your work is to become that version now, not next week, not after another healing session, not when you finally get there. Now you become them in how you speak, in how you walk, in how you hold space for yourself when no one's watching. You ask, what would that version of me choose today? And then you choose it, not to fake it, but to live into it. This is quantum embodiment. It's not waiting for permission. It's not reacting to external conditions. It's leading with frequency. When you choose from your future, you pull it into your present. When you act from alignment, you collapse time. Because in the quantum, time is not linear. It's layered. All timelines exist at once. You don't need to build the one you want. You need to stop resisting it. And resistance isn't always loud. Sometimes it sounds like logic, like being realistic, like double checking. But if you trusted fully, would you need to check? Would you need to control? Would you need to wait? Number you would be. And from that being, life would respond. Not because you begged it to, but because it's law. So now we come to the final layer. Trust. Trust is the highest frequency. It is the state of receivership. And the paradox is, when you fully trust, you don't even feel the need to manifest. You feel complete, whole, aligned. And in that completeness, everything flows to you. Because you're no longer grasping. You're no longer repelling your desires with fear. You're holding them with grace. And the field moves toward grace like water finds the ocean. This is not a fantasy. This is quantum truth, and it's available to you now. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now. So breathe with me. Feel your chest rise. Let your body soften. Let the need to fix dissolve. Let the story of struggle dissolve. Let the noise dissolve. You don't need to work harder. You need to align deeper. Because in the end, the universe has never been testing you. It's been waiting for you to remember who you are, waiting for you to feel the truth beyond the mind, waiting for you to become the signal your timeline has been echoing for years. And now you have, now you are. So let the world catch up. And in the meantime, keep being, keep feeling, keep trusting, because everything you've been searching for is already searching for you. And the moment you emit a coherent yes, the quantum field delivers its answer. Instantly, flawlessly, beautifully, because that's not magic. That's resonance. And you, my friend, are finally tuned in. So let's bring this into your life. Not someday, but today. Not as a concept you think about, but as a field you step into. Because the truth is, you've already felt glimpses of it. Those moments when time slowed down, when clarity rushed in, when something happened so aligned, so impossibly perfect, it defied logic. You called it coincidence, but it wasn't. It was coherence, uninvited, but always welcome. Now it's time to make that your baseline. And to do that, we begin with the most powerful shift of all. Choosing alignment before action. You've been taught to move first, to figure it out as you go, to chase clarity through effort. But that formula is inverted. In the quantum field, Alignment always precedes movement. It's not act, then believe. It's align, then allow. Because when you align your frequency with the outcome, when you become the version of you who already lives it, there is no gap left to fill, no desperation left to run on. You act, yes, but from wholeness, not from lack. And here's the energetic protocol that will change everything. Each morning, before you pick up your phone, before you reach for the world, reach inward, close your eyes, breathe deeply, feel your body, then ask yourself, what is the frequency of the reality I choose? Name it. Peace, joy, abundance, trust. Then feel it, not as hope, but as memory, as if it already belongs to you, because it does. Sit in that feeling for a few minutes. Let it wash over you. Anchor it. This is your field reset. And throughout the day, return to that feeling. Every time you catch yourself in doubt, panic, or analysis, don't push it away. Acknowledge it. Then gently say to yourself, this is not my frequency. Return to the feeling. This is the practice. This is the calibration. And it's more powerful than any affirmation, any vision board, any ritual done from fear. Because when you consciously regulate your vibration, you move into coherence by choice. And choice is the architect of timelines. Now let's go deeper still. What if the resistance you've been feeling isn't wrong? What if your fear is not a block, but a signal? A sacred invitation to hold your frequency in the fire. You see, we often believe that once we're aligned, life should be smooth. But true alignment is forged in the presence of contrast. It's easy to feel abundant when money flows, to feel loved when others validate you, to feel worthy when things go well. But what about when it's quiet, when things delay, when triggers arise? That's when your frequency is tested, not by the universe, but by your own programming. And in those moments, you have a sacred choice. Do I default to the old vibration, or do I hold my new one anyway? This is where manifestation becomes mastery. When you hold your frequency, even when the outer world hasn't yet caught up, that is when the field shifts rapidly, because now you're no longer a reactor, you're a creator. You're no longer responding to what is, you're summoning what's next. And that energy, that inner stillness under pressure, is coherence in its most potent form. Let's reframe one final belief. You've been told that healing must be hard, that change must be slow, that spiritual growth requires pain. But in the quantum, growth can be gentle, healing can be graceful, alignment can be immediate, because time is not required, only resonance is. So if you've been waiting to feel ready, waiting for proof, waiting for permission, this is it. This is your permission slip. To let it be easy, to let it be now, to stop explaining your past and start declaring your future, because the quantum field doesn't care where you've been. It only responds to who you are being, and you get to choose that moment by moment. So breathe again. Let your shoulders drop. Let your chest soften. Let your jaw unclench. This is what receiving feels like. Not effort, not striving, being. And in this stillness, I want you to ask yourself one final question. What would it feel like to truly trust? Feel it now. No more conditions, no more delays, no more exceptions. Just a clean, pure, powerful frequency of trust. That's coherence. That's the frequency that builds momentum. That pulls timelines toward you. That collapses possibility into reality. You've waited long enough. You've prepared long enough. You've known this truth longer than your mind admits. And now you're ready to embody it. So let's declare it together, not as an affirmation, but as a vibration. Say it with me now, in your breath, in your chest, in your being. I allow it to be easy. Say it again. I allow it to be easy. Let it ripple into every cell. Let it overwrite the struggle. Let it become your new foundation, because you're not manifesting anymore. You're remembering, you're aligning, you're becoming, and the field is responding. Even now, even as you hear these words, the shift has already begun. You are the signal. You are the doorway. You are the timeline. So walk as the version who knows, who trusts, who receives, and never looks back. This is your power. This is your truth. And this is your time.